Hi, quick video to introduce myself, talk about my breast cancer journey, provide some relatable information to you, help you discover that there's a case out there that might be like you. Like, I might be just like you might be just like me. You might have found it very difficult to find a case like you online that you could relate to, that you could take comfort in or learn from, help fill in those little gaps of knowledge that you haven't received from your doctor yet. So I am 45 years old. I live in Canada. I am 5'2". I am athletic. I work out frequently. I have a lot of lean muscle mass on my body. I weigh 115 pounds, although normally I'm around 120 pounds. So the purpose of this video is to talk about my breast cancer diagnosis. I was recently diagnosed with DCIS, which is ductal carcinoma in situ, and I have decided to go ahead and have a bilateral mastectomy followed by a reconstruction. And it'll be a 2-phase reconstruction. I will start off with tissue expanders, and then I will have an exchange surgery where I will have implants placed. And a bit more about my DCIS. So ductal carcinoma in situ is normally a very treatable and curable cancer. It can be a surgical disease, meaning that oftentimes surgery can be curative. Oftentimes there are complementary therapies like radiation that can assist with providing a cure. Now, me in particular, I am not a candidate for having radiation. So therefore, having a conservative breast conserving surgery is not going to be an option for me. And I'll talk a bit more about that in a second. So I sit here with breast cancer today because I had Hodgkin's lymphoma at 17 and was treated with radiation therapy. And I have just found out that I've reached my lifetime limit of radiation and therefore cannot have my chest radiated again, because my Hodgkin's lymphoma radiation was mantle field radiation, and it went from about here on my jawline to about here, just below my belly button. It included my underarms, my breasts, my abdomen, maybe a bit of my pelvis. And when you have radiation to those areas of your body, you really cannot have them radiated again. And one of the major reasons is because radiation causes cancer. So the very therapy that cures cancer causes cancer. Now, if I was in my 70s or 80s and diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma and received radiation, I most likely wouldn't have lived long enough in my natural life to have developed a second cancer due to the radiation. But because I was the ripe young age of 17 being treated for Hodgkin's lymphoma, I am now a 45-year-old mother of one and wife to a wonderful husband. And I'm sitting here talking to you about my breast cancer diagnosis. And the thought of having radiation again at 45 means that my chance of getting another cancer beyond the breast cancer due to the treatment of my breast cancer with radiation, that the risk is just too great. So therefore I must be aggressive with the surgery. Okay, so I have agreed to have a bilateral mastectomy My nipples and my areolas will be removed. My areolae will be removed. As much skin as possible will be conserved, and I will have immediate reconstruction. 2-stage reconstruction. The first stage would be tissue expanders. So because of my active lifestyle, because I work out a lot, because of my fears about recovery time, pain, superanimation due to having a pectoral muscle over top of an implant, because of all that, I've chosen to go with over the pectoral or over the muscle with my breast reconstruction. So the tissue expanders will be placed over the muscle. They'll be stitched into the pectoral muscle and then will be filled with saline over the course of a period of time. When I'm happy with the volume, I tell them to stop. We make sure everything's fully healed, and then we go back in, remove the expanders, exchange them with implants over the muscle. I'll be having silicone implants at that point. I'm terrified. I am absolutely terrified. 5'2", 115 pounds. I have a large A cup naturally, and I have about a 34-inch band size. So I do wear a B34 bra, but it's depending on the time of month for me, it's loose fitting or very snug. I can tend to go up an entire cup size, depending on what time of the month it is. So basically, I'm choosing to go with a volume of breast reconstruction not that far from where I'm at right now. Maybe slightly larger, maybe more projection, so maybe larger in certain ways, but in terms of cup size, I really don't know, because with the expanders, it's a volume of saline that they use to stretch the tissue. And so what size of implant I end up with at the end of the day is going to really just depend on providing a symmetrical result, providing a good projection. So projection being the amount of breast contour that you can see sort of from the side. Okay, so you can see I'm wearing a bra underneath, a sports bra. So actually I'm just gonna take this off so I can show you. So I am wearing a wireless bra. It's Denver Hayes from Mark's Work Warehouse, and size small, medium, or large. I think this is a small. You can see my breast volume right now is pushed up slightly. I've got good cleavage. I have good symmetry. My breasts are largely the same length. I don't know how else to say it. I'm happy with them. I'd like to keep them, let's just say that, but I can't. So I'm going with whatever size I end up with, and Lord knows I'll report it in another video, but at this point, it remains to be seen. Put myself back together. There we go. So, yeah. That's really all I can tell you. My next steps are, in 2 weeks, I'm going for bilateral mastectomy, and that will be curative as far as I know. I'll also have a sentinel node biopsy at that time, so they will perform a tracing procedure. Thankfully, thankfully, this is something that I was terrified of because a tracing procedure involves no local freezing at all. It involves injecting a small amount of colored dye that also contains a small amount of radioactive fluid. It's injected close to the site of the tumor and area of concern, and it is supposed to cause the lymph nodes that are closest to the tumor that would be activated by the cancer. It's supposed to cause those lymph nodes to light up under I'm not sure if it's that they actually use a Geiger counter. I'm not really sure. They're going to remove the lymph nodes that are activated by the tracer, okay? So the tracer is the injection that includes the dye and the radioactive matter or material, and that will indicate which lymph nodes they need to remove, because you don't want to remove ones that you don't need to remove. It's best to leave as many lymph nodes in your body as possible. And, you know, they are your immune response to all things bad. So we need our lymph nodes, folks. But having said that, I'm happy to let them take away a couple of them just to test and see if there's any cancer living in them. I'll find out 14 days post-op what that looks like, and just basically we'll be hoping and wishing and praying that there's no cancer found. The chances of having positive lymph nodes, my oncosurgeon has told me that it's not likely. I'm really counting on that. I'm not sure what my treatment options would be if I need further treatment, if the surgery, I just don't know. So here I am, I'm going to have breast reconstruction at the same time without having my pathology report back. So it's a crapshoot. You throw the chips up in the air and you wait and see where they land. You just don't know. There's no way to plan. There's no way to tell. There's no algorithm for it. There's no fortune teller. There's no crystal ball. So we wait 14 days and cross our fingers and our toes and just hope that there's no further surgery required, that there's no further cancer, that when I leave the hospital in 2 weeks, I'll be cancer-free and I'll be on my way to having my breasts reconstructed. Now, a bit more about that. I will say that you plan for 2 surgeries in my case, one being the bilateral mastectomy and the tissue expander placement. The second being the exchange, where they remove the expanders and replace them with implants. Let's just be realistic here, folks. We know that's not going to happen. And if it does, I'll be the first to report it here and be like, yay, y'all can just like bank on this and look forward to that and hooray, and we're having a party. Those aren't the kinds of lotteries that I win. I win the Hodgkin's lymphoma and breast cancer lotteries. I'm not trying to feel sorry for myself, just reporting the facts here, folks, that it's not going to be easy, and I want to be as mentally prepared for as many surgeries as it's going to take to have some semblance of a natural breast again. Now, there's nothing natural about having your breasts reconstructed. There's nothing natural about having the decision to place the implant below the muscle, beneath the muscle, or above the muscle. I will say that I chose to go above the muscle because of my active lifestyle, because I didn't want the implants to move when I pick up grocery bags or do a push-up or do a pull-up. Like I don't want my boobs to be up here every time. And I'm told that it's just an aesthetic thing, that it's just the way that they look super animated when you're working out. But when you hear from the people who've experienced it, they say it's painful, it hurts, it's not comfortable. It's not easy to accept that you're going to have to live with that type of limitation forever. So I opted to have my implants placed above the muscle. Will there be rippling? Yes. Will you see the implant under my very thin, non-fatty dermal layer? Yes. Will it look natural? No. There's nothing natural about having implants. There's nothing natural about having your breasts removed and reconstructed. So I'm just going to stop here and just go to one thing that I've heard time and time again. I've heard this from surgeons, plastic surgeons, people, friends, strangers. I've heard this everywhere, and that is, just be thankful you're alive. Just be thankful that you'll be able to survive this. Be thankful that, just be thankful. You get what you get and you don't get upset. Well, folks, I'm here to tell you, it's okay to reject that concept completely, because at the end of the day, when your cancer is gone, you still have life beyond that. You still have to wake up every day and accept a deformity in your body. Now, is that really what you want? Some people might just be like, well, but for the grace of Dr. So-and-so, go I. Yes, okay, it's a tall order, I get it. But I'm in this for the long haul. I'm gonna do this until I'm happy. Because Lord knows the mental and emotional toll that having a physical appearance that is so dramatically different than your natural appearance can be detrimental to your mental health. And I'll stop there. I don't want to lecture and I don't want to go on and on. But I will just say, believe me, this has been a tough decision. I have so many times wondered if I'm doing the right thing. Putting my family, putting myself through this, knowing that I have a long road of surgery after surgery, recovery after recovery. Moments where I will rely solely on my family to provide the emotional and physical support that I'll need. It's not easy to make that decision. But the more whole I feel, the more of me that they'll get. And the more of me that will be available for me to give them. And if you know, you just know. And if you aren't in this situation, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. So don't judge somebody. Don't say to them, oh, how can you do this? How can you put your family through this? Don't say, oh, I would never do that. Like, please. You just don't know until you're in that situation yourself. So support whatever decision you are making. Support yourself. Be firm. Know what you want. And yes, there's going to be moments where you feel guilty. Yes, there will be moments where you are afraid. If you've made the right choice or not. You will doubt your decision. You will perhaps cry about it. You will perhaps scream about it. You will perhaps beat yourself up emotionally about it. But at the end of the day, knowledge is power, and you have to be comfortable and feel safe in your decision. That's all I'm going to say about that. So if you want to ask me further questions, you can ask me anything. Leave a comment below. I'll check all the comments. I'll answer all the questions. I mean, this is only my first video. I don't know when I'll come out with another one. I have no idea what I'll say in my next video. Probably I'll talk a little bit about my surgery. It's in 2 weeks' time. Probably I'll talk about anything I've learned, any new experiences I've had. I can talk a little bit about my selection process. I was referred to one surgeon. I wasn't comfortable with them. I ended up asking to be referred to another one. I'm more comfortable with this surgeon. This surgeon works in tandem with another plastic surgeon. So I didn't get to choose my plastic surgeon, but I've been told that I have the dream team. That comes with its own host of assumptions and feelings of guilt and a whole different level of buy-in that might not be based in reality and fact. So again, I'll answer all questions, any concerns you have about your breast cancer diagnosis, your DCIS diagnosis, any accessories that you might need to purchase, wedge pillows, mastectomy bras, compression bras. I'll talk about my drains, I'll talk about my incisions, I'll talk about my pathology, whether or not they got clean margins, whether or not my lymph nodes were positive, negative. I can talk about my hormone status, ER/PR positive, HER2 negative, and what that all means. I can talk a bit more about that in a later video, and I can talk about, I'm happy to share any tips for maintaining a workout routine during moments of a heavily taxed body, feeling the effects of living with cancer in your body's response to fighting this disease, pushing through the fatigue, days where I feel strong, days where I feel weak, what I'm eating, what I'm not eating. I mean, I'm not doing anything crazy, folks, but I'm willing to just talk about my experience so that you can relate better. If you are looking for answers, looking for things you can change, looking for ways that you can be reassured that what you're doing currently is correct, or that, not correct, but that there are others that are like-minded, that's where these videos are going to come into play, for you and for me and for everybody. And if there were more of these videos out there, I wouldn't have to make one on my own. So I just want you guys to have someone who's like you that you can relate to, okay? So message me, comment below, I guess follow me. I don't know how you even do that. Wait for another video. I definitely probably will, maybe, perchance, make another one. I don't know. We'll see. If I have something relevant to say and if this is helping people, I mean, I won't stop. So yeah, until next time, see you in the next video, I guess. Or maybe not, but I hope this has helped you and in some small way. Thank you for watching. Good luck.